Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to Faye Webster, and specifically her album, I Know I'm Funny, Haha, as well as a few tracks from Atlanta Millionaires Club, because it's my close friend's birthday today, and I wanted to say happy birthday, Stark. And I've enjoyed reconnecting with you over the years and being your friend these past few years, and we've had a lot of good times together, and I can't wait for more. But it's time to put your album on blast, and those few songs after it maybe too. Okay, so I Know I'm Funny, Haha has 11 tracks, and then plus the 4 that I'm going to do after, so 15 tracks are what we're going to go through today. And I have some tracks chosen for the first album: A Dream with a Baseball Player, the title track, and Both All the Time. I don't know why the T looks like an umbrella, but it does, and I kept it. Alright. This album is going to run at about 41 minutes, and let's get into it with track number 1, Better Distractions. Ooh, already some nice guitar. This isn't funny, this is sad. She wants to get cuffed. I like her really straightforward lyrics. Straight to the point. She's in the Big Depression. It's really chill and sad. I like it. Ooh, the piano. Okay, that's Better Distractions, and it sounds like Faye is really in a rut and very depressed and wants to be distracted because that's the only thing that'll keep her from thinking of the person she's in love with. And yeah, she really just is longing for this person and literally asks for a minute if they'll be with her. And it's really I guess illustrative of when you grow up and are done with school, essentially. You finish high school, you finish college. Even in college, it can feel really lonely. Your friends are all over and everyone's just doing their own thing. Everyone's adulting, and no one really has the time to see each other or has the energy, I guess. And it takes a lot of work to do anything with other people. And it is exhausting, but it's worth it for the people who matter. That's just what this song reminded me of. But Like, especially when they're talking about, like, when Faye talks about, like, she has two friends she can see, but they have two jobs and a baby. I think her, like, age is, like, scaled up more than what I'm referring to, or I feel like I read her bio and she's, like, around, like, college aged or, like, a bit after. So I think it is pretty, like, relevant to what I'm talking about, but yeah. Yeah, so I think I'm not totally off base, but I just saw the thing about like having a kid and I was like, that's crazy. You're having a kid at that time, but some people do. Some people have it pretty young. But let's get to track number 2, sometimes. Very relaxing and chill. And the line, but if I write about nothing, then what would they say? It's pretty relevant to like every artist, I think, and every creative, because if you really do just write about like random stuff, then people will just like crap on you and not take you seriously. And especially like if you're known by like people in your community and like you're their face. And to just like people who you have to like prove something to as an artist. Okay, that was sometimes. And it's a chill and like relaxing track as I said before, but it's not like too exciting or interesting of a listen, but it's definitely not a bad track. She's wanting to like get out of the city and move away with her lover to some like remote location, like where nobody knows them, essentially. And that sounds like the best thing, especially like in her case where she's thinking about like what her community thinks and like the people who are judging her. So that sounds like a great solution. Okay, let's move on to track number 3, the title track. Okay, okay, she is moving. I like how the story is just building. Love the atmospheric guitar. She is funny. Okay, that is the title track. and I really enjoyed the storyline and songwriting aspect of this track. It sounded very like we were in her shoes and we knew what was going on like throughout the entire scene. Essentially, I like how that was written out, and it's also really like personal and talking about like the birthday present she got for her like lover, and well, who I'm assuming it's her lover. Um, but I also really enjoyed the instrumentation, especially the dreamy guitar and the keys, and the drum at the end was pretty nice. Um, but yeah, let's move on to track number 4, In a Good Way. Ooh, that guitar. Hmm, it's cute. This piano's really nice. And the violin. I really enjoyed that last verse, but yeah, that was another really great track from Faye, In a Good Way. It was another very chill track and had pretty nice instrumentation throughout, and it really fit well with the lyrics, and it sounded very like pure, similar to the lyrics, and like finding a love out of something you weren't expecting, and something like that was there but hidden. Let's move on to track number 5, Kind of. The instrumentation kind of reminds me of Mazzy Star a bit. Ooh. The drum buildup is really nice. Every time there's that drum buildup, I think she's gonna go for a high note, but it just like levels out again. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, like for this type of album, because it's more chill, but I don't feel this kind of type of way times 100. Faye's making me yawn, she makes me want to sleep. But in a good type of way, because it's so chill and relaxing. I'm listening to this on a private session, so my friend doesn't see that I'm listening to the music he wanted me to listen to. And to like keep it a surprise so that it doesn't seem like I'm doing it for reaction purposes. Okay. that was kind of, and it was kind of relaxing, and it was really nice. It had that classic Faye guitar and chill lyrics, and it's about love and finding love in a place that you don't expect it again. Because as she said, she hasn't been in love in a long time or like written a song either, but she got like both of those things, both of her like necessities, like necessity like to create, to encourage her creative work, and the necessity of finding love. Let's move on to track number 6, Cheers. It's very different from her other tracks. The beat and the electronic sounds. So I'm guessing Faye is someone who is dating another artist. Kind of return to this like classic Faye sound, but still with that ringing electronic sound. Okay, that is Cheers, and it's not my favorite track. I didn't like the elongated notes on like the "and let's cheers to you and me," and yeah, I guess that was my main like gripe with it, but still not a bad track. There's no skips so far, but yeah, it was definitely different, like production wise, but it still was engaging and good work. Let's move on to track number 7, Both All the Time. That's what I wrote down. Okay, that was Both All the Time, and again with those classic Phoebe productions with the guitar and drums, and this time it's back to that more melancholy songwriting and talking about like sticking to routines because of depression and like negative repetitions of habits like staying at home and like reading the same stuff isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's also like close minded in a way. Like if it's done like this obsessively, as like that I'm thinking it's being portrayed. Because like if you're doing it like over and over, it's, you know, become a habit and not like something you do once in a while to like relive it, you know? And the other habits of like being lonely at night and having alcohol and sleeping without turning the lights off to feel like somebody's there and that you're not lonely and lonesome. Let's move to track number 8, A Stranger. Oh, I'm really liking this violin. Hmm. Jealousy, jealousy. She's kind of describing that situation where it's like you have FOMO even though you said no. Like you had the choice of going out, but you were just like, nah, it's going to be too much of a hassle. But you also know that you would have had a lot more fun than staying home. It's like that very interesting cocktail of anxiety and depression. That's what it sounds like to me. But I think this is one of my favorite tracks out of the album, and I think like anyone who suffers from depression should like listen to this song. But I really dug the violin, the back to the dreamy guitar, and that electronic sound was also very nice that she has sometimes recurring throughout her tracks. But yeah, this is definitely a high point on the album for me. Let's move on to the next one. Another one I wrote down called A Dream with a Baseball Player, track number 9. I somehow picked a track with a lot of streams versus the other songs. I picked it on my phone, like to not see the streams. But I just have really good taste, I guess. Ooh, some trumpet. I really love the guitar in all of her tracks. Wattpad moment. song is Chronically Online. That's the vibes it gives me. Like, it's about a dream, but I feel like it could be extrapolated to even mean like somebody you just like see on your like TikTok For You page or like any social media. Oh my gosh, those fading vocals. It's like she's disappearing and like waking up maybe from the dream. Or she's just falling into like existential dread and is like spiraling downward. Okay, but that was A Dream with a Baseball Player. And I enjoyed the track. I liked the dreamy guitars again, and the addition of the trumpet was really nice. And I didn't like the track, like storyline wise, so it's not one of my favorites, but I do appreciate it. Let's move on. Track number 10, Overslept, featuring May Ehara. This is also really cute. Very delicate. I'm interested why she chose like Japanese in her song, and how she met this other artist. Because it's giving Faye Webster vibes. I like the like small like little like bubble of vocals they give after the guitar. Alright, that is Overslept, and I really enjoyed it, but the Japanese part of it was a bit quiet, and it's very noticeable from the English part of it, but it was pretty nonetheless, and had that same chill vibe that Faye's music has, and the humor that she has sprinkled throughout her writing, which I really enjoyed. But let's move on to the final track of the album, track number 11, Half of Me. It's very gentle and intimate with a guitar. Okay, that is Half of Me, and that is the full album. completed. And it's back to that more melancholy and more based off of heartbreak with this final track. And I really liked like the simplicity of it with the guitar, and it felt really intimate, and that like we were like sitting right next to her, or like that she's just like in a lounge like singing to us or something. That's how it felt listening to this, and that's like a good testament to this whole album. Like her writing is very like straightforward, and I think it can be really relatable, and a lot of people will be able to resonate with it. But let's move on to my final thoughts and what I would rate this album. Okay, let's go over the tracks I enjoyed, I liked, In a Good Way, Both All the Time, A Stranger, and Half of Me. And as for my rating of this album, I'm not going to grill it, as I said, because I really enjoyed it actually. And I'm going to give it a solid 9 because I really enjoyed Faye's straightforward lyrics, the dreamy sort of guitars, and the drums, and the trumpets, and it was just very beautiful throughout. And even the simplicity on like the solo guitar track was very nice at the end. And yeah, I think she's somebody who a lot of people can relate to and can find a lot of value out of her music. And yeah. But we're not done just yet. We have 4 more tracks to go over. So let's get into those. Okay, so we're moving on to AMC, Not the Theater, Atlanta Millionaires Club. And we will be starting with Right Side of My Neck first. It'll be track number 2 on Atlanta Millionaires Club. These are a few songs my friend chose and recommended me. So let's get into it. This is a reaction, but the deluxe version. It's funny because I'm listening to it backwards, like the older album now. Oh, this guitar. She really loves these atmospheric guitars, and I love them too. Oh, she's back with these fading lyrics. I forgot what track it is on the last album, but there was another song like it. Okay, that's the right side of my neck, and I enjoyed it, but it was very repetitive, I'll say. And I guess that might be expected for a song that's like this specific, you know? But yeah, like it's not my favorite probably, but I understand why that choice was made, and it makes sense to me. But let's move on to track number 3, Hurts Me Too. Aw. As you should, as you should. But it is kind of BS when people are like, you should only make happy music and like telling artists to change what they write to make it more palatable. Because I really enjoy sad music personally, and others do too. Like that's why alt pop has grown so much over time because of people like Lana Del Rey, Billie Eilish, etc. Lord. Alright, that was Hurts Me Too, and I think it's my favorite track so far out of the two I've listened to on AMC, but it's very like true, as I said, because you know, people in their criticisms of sad music and judging people who write it and like it, but the people who write it more because, you know, they're the artist. But it sends like shockwaves around the fandom too, you know. But it's very true because she writes in one part that like that she's feeling the sadness, so like why shouldn't she write about it? Like it does make you guys sad, but I have every right to write it. That sounds weird, but she has every right to write it down and make it into a song because she's the one who's feeling it. And she gets every right to express those emotions. But let's move on to Johnny, track number 5. Very chill again. She's really drawing out those notes. A dog is a good best friend to have. Ooh, that saxophone is so nice. She's really exposing this Johnny guy. Like she says it's a love song, but she also asks, like, did you ever love me? Because that question in itself is like, like you already know the answer, like that they didn't, but I think maybe it's coming from like a place of like anxiety, like when people ask like, do you still like me or something? Because they're just like scared of losing that person, I guess, or like they need reassurance that that person isn't mad at them. But that was Johnny, and I like the jazzy vibes of it. I didn't quite vibe with the lyrics too much, but still a pleasant track. Let's move on to track number 6, Kingston, and it'll be our last one from this album, and in general for this video. Ooh. I love that small interjection. That's what he called me. I love this tone she's singing into. It's pleasant. Ooh, that snapping sound. Okay, that is Kingston, and that finishes this array of songs, and I really enjoyed that track. It was also a high point of these 4 tracks for me, along with Hurts Me Too. I really enjoyed how like lovey-dovey it was, because it was very dreamy and pleasant to listen to, and as I said, like the tone of her voice and everything. I just really liked the vocal styling, and it was very consistent throughout. But yeah, that's the end of those 4 tracks, and I can say that I really enjoy her work from what I've heard, and I'll be eager to hear more of it, because I think she really has her footing down in her music, and that's something that's really important for an artist. Like it is good to like experiment too, but yeah, I feel like she really like found her like niche, and she's doing really good at it. But that is the end of the video. Stark, I hope you enjoyed this review, and that you have a great birthday as well. Um, and whatever you do is fun, because you deserve it. And I hope that for the other viewers that watch this, that you also enjoyed, and tell me what tracks you enjoyed from this list and from I Know I'm Funny, haha. And yeah, thank you for watching and sitting through this whole thing, but I will see you next time, or maybe not. Goodbye.